Welcome back to another episode of the SiXFramesPodcast.
Alright, in the building. Here we go.
Episode, I forgot what.
Oh shit, episode
31.
31.
Episode 31.
Oh lord.
We're just gonna
still
start.
trucking.
You know, we're just gonna start the episode without talking the episode numbers.
We'll just see it on the video.
Yeah, you'll see on the video or Podbean.
Look below to see the episode number. We'll just announce that.
And please subscribe.
Please. We still need that, Well,
Alright, well, here we go. The round table is here. Starting off, Jamal.
Clear. Alexis.
What the hell?
Jake.
Kevin.
I know what that was. One of those days.
Yeah.
Alright, special. For our topics today, we're gonna jump right into it. And Pokemon Sword and Shield
yes.
is the name of the game.
Yep. I think I've been the only one who played it. I assume, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so Pokemon Sword and Shield came out this week, or the 15th, 14th of November.
Mm-hmm.
And there's I just want to address the controversy first. Like everyone's like,
There's controversy?
Of course. Everybody's mad because half the Pokemon not making it in.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Half Pokemon pretty much got Thanos by Game Freak.
I cry when you tell me there's no Dragonite.
There's no Dragonite. There's no Gliscor.
Yes.
And then it didn't stop just there because here's another big problem is that Game Freak, when they decided to cut half the Pokédex, right?
Mm-hmm.
They said that it was for the animation and for the model, because they're redoing the models of the Pokemon, so they're not re-importing them from Sun and Moon.
Mm-hmm.
Or even X and Y, even though they already made high-res models for all the Pokemon.
Right.
So I think personally for us fans, it's easier for them to just port them all over and call it a day.
Yeah, because
I think we didn't really expect that much, just a expanded of the 3DS version.
Right.
But because they said they was going to remodel it, we were like, all right, so go ahead and do you. But then when we see the models and they compare it side by side, it's the exact same thing. So now Game Freak is on the chopping board because now people are saying that they're lying to us.
Right.
Because the facts are there and it's we see it. These are the same models, so you just reuse them and you cut the Pokemon for what reason?
Right.
If you're reusing the model. So they're thrown under the bus for that.
Mm-hmm.
And because it was for the animation too, and it's for the animation portion, I could defend Game Freak because when you play the game you actually see new animation. Not only the battle animation, there's some new effects for a lot of them, so it's not the same thing. They actually revamped them or changed them up. But the one that they saw during the trailer and the showcase and everything, it was the same thing that they used from the old game, the old generation.
Right.
So it was sort of a right there misplacement. It's just when you actually play the game, you actually see the difference in the animation, and plus to animate 1,000+ Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's not just the
Wait,
battle.
1,000 Pokemon?
They're about to hit it.
Yeah, they're about to hit it.
I think they're in it now. Yeah, I think they're about 1,000, and it's not just 1,000 Pokemon. It's just 1,000 unique Pokemon. So it's the Pokemon that's already there, the Mega Evolutions, the Alolan variants, and now the Galarian variants.
Right.
And now the Dynamax and Gigamax forms. So it's all of that to animate. And it's that's a lot of animation for
I'm still trying to complete
1,000.
the original 151.
And that's what they cut it in half. That's why. And again with the animation, it's that when it comes to the battle animation, they mostly compared it to Pokemon Stadium, Pokemon Stadium 2, XD Gale Darkness, and even Pokemon Battle Revolution for the Wii. And what's different between these two games is that those are battle only Pokemon games.
Right, yeah.
So they have all their focus on just the battle and the animation.
Fighting, yeah.
No NPCs, no character customization, no cities, no routes, no Pokemon to catch, all that mechanic is not there.
Right.
And on this game, the main series game, they can't really focus all on that because they have to like make the cities, the gyms, the Elite Four, the routes. They have to balance everything for like, the level grinding, all that stuff. You don't have that in those games. So that's why I could like give them that slack for the animation part. But like the whole reasoning model stuff is still sort of, and like not even that, it's like Dynamaxing, the Gigamaxing, all that change forms. So that I could defend them for that.
Yeah. And
like people are like complaining about the textures for the games too.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, it's half and half because on one side, they're like a $3 billion company. They could have hired somebody to go on their Switch and like make better models for the wild area. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, what we saw though was only the wild area, like the place where you catch all the Pokemons. And yeah, it does look, low res. It's not Breath of the Wild or Odyssey or Luigi's Mansion 3 even.
Right.
But the whole point when you play the game, it's an online component. Now, when I heard online you could play with other people, I assumed like 3 or 4 people max. But when you get in there, a lot of people.
Yeah, it's like
there is a lot of people.
So when you're out exploring, there's just other random
trainers just walking around, exploring, doing exactly. What? And it's great, but at the same time, it lags the shit. Like it lags like mad. So now, if you think about that, how it lags, low res, textures come a long way to like help us not stop every 10 seconds while we're like walking. And it's not only just that, but the Nintendo Switch Online has its fair share of like, slow internet connections. Yeah. So with both of that combined, it's like it is their fault, but it's also not all their fault because the Nintendo Switch Online still has that problem. To like, if you play Smash Online, you notice that even like with like the detail that's just the present, it still lags like a bitch.
Yeah.
So having like probably like 50 characters on like one screen running around with Pokemon's roaming, mind you, and that's an animation too. Like before, they never had any animation for like Pokemon's like just randomly roaming.
Right.
If you see that now, they got that. The only one they had was like the original 151, and even not all of them are in there. So like when you like one of my favorite walking animations is Krogan, which you see, and it's like so characterized because like he's walking like this, and then before he chases, he slows down, he leans, and he starts giving chases. It's like, yo, get the fuck away. So like it has that,
like the swagger walk, arm swing.
So like when they say that they want like cut the Pokemon to like put in animation, so like for the animation too, so you can see that there is some effort put into the animation, not the battle specifics, but like overworld Pokemons. The Gigamax and all the other stuff. That's that's not battle specific.
Right, it's not battle specific. Okay.
So there's that, and then the online component. It's great. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's great. It's fun. It sort of has like its own problems, especially with the raid battles, the new thing that they added.
The who?
The raid battles. Like it's another import from the Go series, Pokemon Go.
Oh, okay.
Where you have your characters fight together with other people online to like go against like a giant variant of the Pokemon,
like Destiny type.
Yeah.
Or any of those MOBA type games,
and
that raid battles where you all get together and fight a big boss. Yeah.
And that shit is awesome. I'm not gonna lie to you. That shit is. It's not like, oh, it's so much fun. You're gonna keep going over there. It's just like you go inside of it. You see your crew or whoever would like to like join you. You'll all stand up. You're looking at this gigantic Pokemon that you know is gonna whoop your ass. But because it's 4 against 1, it's like, all right, we gotta like tip the odds in our favor.
Right.
So it's like you gotta strategize, even though you can't talk to each other.
Right. Who's healing?
Who's healing? Who's gonna block? Who's gonna Dynamax? If you only have one at a time. And it's like, all right, let's just go at him. You catch him, you get stuff, and you move on with your adventure. And yeah, and then another part of the controversy is, what was it? Well, I mean, honestly, yeah, I think that was it. The textures, the animation, the cutting of the Pokemon, and like, just with those 3 controversies, with all the things that I just told you, once you start playing the game, it really doesn't matter. Like, I know I haven't like finished the game yet. I don't even have like 3. I don't even have like 4 badges yet, and I've been like in 7 hours or 8 or 10. I don't know. In the game, and there's like, it's like the game is pretty long, honestly, and the majority of the time it's gonna be in that wild area.
Yeah.
So like everything, all the controversy that hits Pokemon, when you play it, it's like it's not even warranted
Right.
because like we only see the wild area, like I said, but when you go to the cities, when you go inside the houses, it's like what the fuck? Compare that to like all the past Pokemon games.
Right.
Like this is obviously the more superior one. And not only that, they've added so much detail. Like you have a fridge, a smart fridge. For what? You don't even eat food. And then like the rooms, like the champions room, like it's early in the beginning of the game. The champions room, he has a whole bunch of cats. It just sort of like all the main characters' rooms have like a character to them. You know, like when you go inside, you're like, oh, this is definitely his room. Or you go to your rival's room, it's like, yo, this is definitely his room. When you go to Sonia's room, it's like she has like a makeup area right there, and it's like, yeah, this is totally her room.
Right.
They have personality in it. You don't see that in all the Pokemon games. You go to your rival's house in Hoenn, and you go to May's room, it looks just like yours, and it's like, bitch, where's your...
Yeah.
where's your shit? And it looks so beautiful, too. Like, the cities, the houses, all that stuff is great. I haven't gone too far into it. Even the wild area, like, if you... Just like Breath of the Wild, like when you look afar, you see like the whole detail, like the city that you go to, the city that you've already been to, the town, the train area.
So that's new. They have like depth of field now.
Yeah, and
now
it makes
you see it's not just all the
top down view.
Top
and
down.
you can when you're in the wild area only, you can rotate the camera because you want to see your environment.
Right.
So it's like with all that, it's like that is the ideal Pokemon game. So having all their focus making the ideal Pokemon game is like.
Right.
It's warranted like a few cutbacks at the very least.
Right, and it's been a while since they put a Pokemon game on console.
The thing is,
like a full-fledged Pokemon game.
Not even because they've only been working on the main series one. They've been like giving their titles to other people to make on the main series, the main console. So like, Game Freak didn't even make Stadium. They didn't make Coliseum. They didn't make Battle Revolution. They didn't even make Tekken. They're all. If you think about it, from 1997 or 8, from Red and Blue all the way to Sun and Moon, they've been working with pixels and low res 3D.
Yeah.
So jumping to 3D, like Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu was their first 3D, and it looks great because they use the most basic, shapes and everything's like all rounded and cute, chibi.
Right.
And then you jump to Sword and Shield, everything's like detailed. You got castles with textures on it, leaves on it. You got like bridges, things that you can see in the distance. And they tried to make that effort to like, jump into this new platform.
Right.
And nobody's like really giving them that sort of credit, which sucks. But like, you can't lie that some of the criticism, heavy quotes on that, is sort of warranted. Yeah.
Right.
But not all. Like most of the time, they're just like really right now they're just crying. Like, this is all just crying right now. Like, big fat babies, honestly. Because, like, now they're writing to Trump. They literally are writing to Trump to tell him to hold the sales of the game because it's, it's not, they're consumers of entertainment. And it's like...
Oh, gotcha. And they're trying to say that
they're not
keeping true to their word. They lied to us.
They lied to us. Like, they had like a hashtag Game Freak lied to us going on through Twitter.
The internet is drunk with power.
Oh my god, so stuff. And
the
now,
internet is drunken with power.
Where the fuck was this when Anthem was there? Came out?
Exactly.
Where the fuck was this when Sea of Thieves came out first time? Fucking what was it called? No Man's Land.
No Man's Land.
Nobody did. They just went there. They blew up on the game. They called it
the one in space, right? No Man's Sky or
No Man's Sky. Yeah.
No Man's Sky.
They went in. They blew up on the game and they left.
Yep.
Nobody wrote to Trump. Nobody wrote to Obama saying Obama.
Please stop these games.
You know what it is? The internet got what they wanted with Sonic, and now they feel like they can just go around and bully everybody.
Yeah, if we complain enough, they'll listen. Drunken with power.
It's so dumb. And I'm sorry. I just want to say one more thing. All that is like, honestly, like to go forward, Game Freak already made the decision to like cut the Pokemon because in time, they had to. It was gonna be too much, and then and like it sucked. Yeah, it sucked that they had to like do it now on this generation because we've been like this is like the most anticipated Pokemon game since the Switch was announced, so we knew it was coming.
Right.
Because it was like a hybrid and everything, but it had to be done. I'm glad they stuck with it. They didn't like listen to the fans demanding like the National Pokédex back.
Right.
So going forward, we're always gonna have like a set number of Pokemon we could obtain in the game moving forward. So whether the fans like it or not, tough tits, cry to your mom. Nobody gives a shit.
Right.
And at the end of the day, Game Freak is still like, they're still gonna make money whether you're in it or not, because people from Pokemon Go are coming in. People from
they have enough.
They have exactly
fan base over in Asia to keep them
exactly
right.
So
to keep them satisfied.
You're crying, you're whining don't mean shit in the long game. So
they'll be okay.
Just stop. Honestly, you can drop the series. I don't care. Just stop. You don't have to whine anymore. We're tired of it.
That question. How's the competitive scene, and then how is the customization?
Oh my god, let me tell you what makes this game so fucking hype. Alright, I'm done with the controversy. Let me tell you what's the great things about this game. Camping. I've been wanting to camp since the anime came out, alright?
Yeah.
In every game. So this is the ideal Pokemon game, alright? I get to play with my Pokemon. I get to see them all out in the field playing with each other. They don't like each other
and
sometimes.
you can cook food, right?
You can cook
That's what
him. Come on, man.
Now I can be a berry farmer and a chef.
And a chef. That's right.
Dream.
That's right.
That's
And
my
they love
Pokemon
it.
dream.
They love my
berries.
cooking.
That's
My little
thing.
Wooloo.
Cooking
mama in this Pokemon
Cooking mama in
game.
Pokemon. Let's go.
Come on. I'm gonna answer your question, Kim.
You
Pokemon babies.
Bro, oh my god, man. And then even the new designs of the Pokemon. I'll get to that, but what was that? The competitive scene?
Yeah.
Let me tell you. This game, when Game Freak made this game, they said they had the core audience in mind, right?
Right, yeah, no, of course.
So going in, like, there's not a lot of tutorials. Like, when you know what you're doing, just tell them that you know what you're doing and you move on. So there's
that's
good.
Let
me teach you how to catch a Pokemon. I already know that shit. All right. All power to you, my guy.
Right.
Keep on trucking.
Right, fire good against leaf. And
Exactly.
I know all that. Come on,
If you know that, you don't even have to worry about the tutorials and stuff like that.
Awesome.
So that's great. And then, like, when you actually start fighting and, like, you know, leveling up, you feel like you're leveling up too fast and you're like, oh, maybe I should, like, calm down, it might get too easy. No. I almost got bodied by the second gym leader. I had 5 Pokemon.
Right.
She had 3. She almost bodied me, bro.
Dang.
And then the third gym leader, bro. Like, here's the thing. In the lore, he has, like, all the characters. They, like, the trainer cards, when you look at their back and they can read their stats, they have their own story. So the third gym leader's on is personally my favorite one because, little spoiler for the third gym leader, he came from Hoenn, and he was, like, a great trainer. He fought well, so he's, like, there's, like, the major and a minor league. So, like, he fought, and, like, he tried to beat the champion, but he failed a lot of times, so he got demoted to, like, the minor leagues. That he had another battle with the champion that was so good that he came back to the major leagues. So he's now a gym leader again. And, like, he just has, like, this battle of, like, he's like Zuko, bro, because he's a fire gym. He's literally fucking Zuko. He's like an old man Zuko, and it's great. And his team is evolved. They are, like, last level evolved. Third gym,
and they're all
Third gym.
3?
last level evolved. And then the Gigamax and the Dynamax and Gigamax thing, that shit does not... like that shit will, if you're not ready,
that's
thing
when
will
they
body
turn giant, right?
Yep.
And they just start
They
going to
hit
town.
you hard. And they have like field effects that hit you too, and it's like, if you're not prepared for it, then you're gonna struggle. Like I was prepared for him, but I wasn't prepared for those last level evolutions, alright? That's the third gym, mind you.
Right.
And I'm like, holy shit. So even the NPCs and the wild Pokemons, they will fuck you up too, man.
Yeah.
Like you know, like in there like roaming Pokemons around. You don't just see like the little ones, you see like the evolved ones too. So like you could go up against like a Steelix while you're still like just got your Pokemon.
What?
That's like level 50. And
Oh,
you can run
it's
into
up to
them.
you to
It's up to you to
go
go around them,
Nah,
or
you're not challenged.
they will chase you though. If you're in their sight, they will look at you. They'll give you a second to realize that they're behind you. They'll roar, and then we'll start sprinting toward you. If you're not prepared, boy, you're about to get washed.
I came to crush your dreams, little child.
You want to be a Pokemon trainer?
Right?
Fucking cursed off
This
you,
is the
bro.
real Pokemon world.
That is the real Pokemon world,
Right.
honestly. Like if you could go
It's
to
not
these
just one
areas,
region with level 2 and 3 Pokemon,
Nope.
and then over here it's 10 and 12.
Nope.
It's
a mixed
It's a
environment.
Okay.
Mixed
We got
environment.
high level, low level. That's what's up. That's cool.
And you can go anywhere you want. Like they won't
Right,
restrict
super.
you.
Also, it's not
Nice.
as linear as the past
Nope.
ones where you have to go
That's
this way.
cool.
I mean,
to get to your
only for like you know, to like go to the story progression. But like the wild area, you just Whatever the fuck you
Open.
want.
Cool.
Okay.
You could go straight to like the overpowered one, like where Tyranitar is.
Oh shit!
Why?
I
You won't catch it. You won't catch it, but you won't make it back neither. You can actually avoid them too, because like the random encounter is not like random encounter. There will be like explanation mark coming out, and then you'll see it where it is, and you can just avoid it.
No,
So you can literally just like walk
Gotcha.
through the whole thing without encountering a single Pokemon.
Right,
But
especially
they
if
will.
you're trying to backtrack to something you
Oh, so
forgot,
they-
and you
so
don't want
no
to
more-
get stuck battling all
Exactly.
games in the grass.
So no more Zubats.
No.
No more
Oh,
Zubat.
yes! No more
You can
Zubats!
dodge them with grace.
Right?
You can break their ankles.
Right. I can zig around this zigzagoon. Get out of my way. Get back.
But yeah, like those Pokemons, they're smart. Like when they're gonna when it's time to like beef up, they'll beef up against you.
Yeah.
When they're gonna like lower your attack, they're gonna lower your attack. They're gonna protect. They're gonna stall you out too. Like boy, even the trainers, the Pokemon trainer, they'll heal. They'll do everything they can to win.
Right.
And it's like, oh shit, they really stepping up. All right,
That's
I
good.
see y'all.
No,
I
it's
see
good.
y'all.
These
That
AI
makes-
play like humans.
Yeah, they're starting to. I mean, it's not over the top, but like it's getting there.
Right.
So, I mean, that's just from like playing up to like the 3rd gym badge. So there's a lot more to go through from there.
Yeah.
And it's-
Are you ready?
I don't know. I don't know. And then as far as like the new Pokemon designs go, the majority of them are pretty awesome.
For the new ones?
Yeah.
I have to look them up. I want to look at some of them.
Like,
I haven't even seen the final evolution for
I haven't
the
either.
Starter 3 yet.
and if I'm gonna be the truthful, if you haven't seen like spoilers of the leaked decks or anything,
Mhm.
I suggest that you keep that to yourself and explore it as you go.
Oh,
I
so
guess
you'd
the-
be like, wow,
Yeah, because it
that's
actually does get exciting. Like
Okay.
seeing them, like you'll be like, "What the fuck is that?" Because they're like, "What the fuck is that?" And you see its evolution, you're like, "What the fuck is that?" And it evolves, you're like, "What the fuck is that?" And it's just like, it's an experience, man. It's really
Right.
a cool experience. Just like not knowing, exploring,
Mhm.
seeing everything as if you're a real Pokemon trainer.
Cool.
And it's everything I want from this game. Yes, it's sad that I won't be able to transfer over my Swampert, my favorite Pokemon in the entire series, over. But with the Pokemon that I have, I'm gonna make some new memories, and going forward,
Right.
that's
And I think
all
that's
care.
the goal.
Yeah, that's the
right?
goal. At the
Like
end
when
of the day,
people
it's,
kind of break away from their go-to team
and just
and
try
their
out some
favorites
new
that they
ones.
always pick every time
And
they play
always
Pokemon.
bring over,
Right, they
whenever
always
can.
import. Yeah, so it's like try to do ones. We made
Yeah.
all these new Pokemon, so you can play with them. Not so you can be like, oh, lame. I'm just go with my same team
and
and
they
wreck
cut the,
shop.
and they cut the decks and they're getting mad for that.
Yeah, nah, they'll be alright.
Come on, they'll be alright.
One more thing.
What's up?
How was the customization?
Oh yeah, the customer.
Oh yeah, he's gonna tell us
Woo!
about customizing. Now, are we talking about
Second
Pokemon
No.
or characters?
characters.
Because I know with Pokemon you can change some of their attributes, right?
Yes, you can, but I
Like-
haven't gotten there yet. That's the
Okay.
thing.
Because
That's
I
competitive
saw
play
That's
too.
competitive play, though. That's competitive play.
Right,
So
right.
I'm looking forward to that because I want to actually get into like the Pokemon, the VGC, the actual tournaments for the Pokemon. I want to try to get into that.
Okay.
So this is like honestly for competitive Pokemon, this is like the best way to start because like half the overused tiers of Pokemons, they're like gone. So like the learning curve's a lot easier.
Okay.
You know. So this is like a great entry point for like people who want to get into competitive Pokemon.
Yeah.
But like character customization, boy, I'm a proud black trainer with dreads.
Dreads, yeah. some real ethnic hair in the game. We all ain't gotta have mohawks and
Or spiky hair.
or spiky hair or bald. Or some crazy long flowing anime hair.
Yo, don't get me wrong now. I still got red eyes.
Boy, you trying to put that shine?
You go.
Oh man, but like the clothes. Oh my god, the clothes.
Yeah.
It looks so good.
So it's not just a lame little trainer outfit
Nah,
with different
it's-
colors.
And even like the gym clothes, like you can
Mhm.
change your gym, like the gym clothes you go into. Cause like I'll get to that, but like the customization is like you could change your gym clothes where you actually go into the gym battles with. You can change your trainer clothes. You can change your trainer eyes, the hair, your eyebrows, whatever. All that.
And you don't have to
Customize
wait,
your
right?
shoes.
You
Huh?
could do it right off the bat.
Oh yeah, you could, once you buy it, you can like equip it and put it on, and then you just leave.
Because
and
that was
call
the
it
thing
day.
with the other games, is like you have to like beat
Buy it.
a certain area. Like you have to progress in the game to learn to unlock.
Oh well, actually, yeah,
Yeah.
that's you still have to sort of do
You
that
still
because
have
like
to do that.
the cities have like certain
Oh, okay.
dresses or clothes that you could customize with. Honestly, I think the female characters have like more to play with than the male characters. But regardless, I still look fun. I still look full.
Right.
I got my red outfit, my red jacket, my my zip. Yeah. Oh, and you can also like customize your trainer cards. So like whenever you go into like an online battle, like people will see like your
card.
Yeah, so like your clothes.
You can put a little bio too of yourself.
No? Nah, no, I wish. I don't think they're gonna get that far yet, but what they have, yeah, it's great. It's really cool. And there's one more thing. There's just so many, but like, what was it?
The competitive scene?
No, it was a competitive. It was something to do with
changing your attributes.
Pokemon skill sets.
No.
It was more to customization.
I think it was more than customization. I just don't remember. Well, regardless, it's great. It's great. It's a good game. Even from like I've seen like some like the reviews like the other people are giving it like 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 for IGN, I think, right?
Oh, that's IGN.
That's So I don't personally like, even though I haven't finished the game, I wouldn't necessarily give it like that high of a score.
Maybe they saw something in the ending and they're like,
maybe.
Oh,
that's probably right. I'm not gonna lie to you. Even the story. Oh, that's right. The story so far, that's actually pretty interesting. Like the way they turn, like with like how you usually start your adventure, it's pretty cool. I can't lie, it's really cool.
So it's not Professor Oak trying to get you out of the house.
No, it's like
hang with your mom. So me and your mom can hang out.
No. It's actually pretty cool. I'm actually invested in the story. I'm just hoping like the real score for me will be the end game. Like what makes me come back to like playing the last portion, because Sun and Moon, all they had was the battle tree and the wormholes. And it's like, it wasn't that my thing, so
right.
I'm hoping for like like a battle facility, like Battle Frontier, something like that.
Gotcha.
It doesn't have to be exactly like that, but like something,
So how's the safe house? Are they the same?
Yeah, they're the same. Like they have autosave too, but you can turn that off. And that's pretty easy. Oh, and they also incorporated like the carry around like your whole PC sort of thing from Let's Go Eevee, but you can't just put it in and heal them. You still have to go to the Pokemon Center and heal them. Right. That's cool because then you can like just switch on the fly.
Convenient.
Yeah, very convenient. Like if you're like catching a whole bunch of Pokemon, you just want like one to train with now, and you want to save one for later. You just right there in the menu, just switch them out and
switch them out. Yeah, you don't have to go to a center and get the Pokemon.
Yeah,
go back. And, okay, that's cool. That's
awesome. I love it. Right. The only problem is like the online, but that's just the online. That's it. It's just like the wild area.
I mean, Nintendo's never been.
Like, they really
their servers never have been the greatest when it comes to online. Anything.
So switching these attributes.
It just switch. Like they don't have natures anymore.
No natures.
Well, they still do, but like you switch their natures pretty much. You can manually switch them. So like even if your Pokemon you caught right now is not the one that with the right nature, later on in the game you could switch it. So pretty much you could keep the same Pokemon that you've been training up with and just switch their nature and then use them competitively. So I don't have to like stop on the tracks and then go ahead and competitively breed
and be like this ain't the
10,000 eggs and then release them all into the wilds and make a crisis population in the world.
I think I'm going out of retirement. I think I will join you.
I'm waiting for fighting. I just want to fight. When I'm doing the game, I'm going competitive. That's all.
I'll join you that.
And that's all I got for Sun and Moon. Like, I'm not Sun and Moon.
Sun and Sword and
Shield. As of so far for the 3 badges, there's so many good things and there are bad. So like everything that everybody's been saying that's been about this year that's bad. Just play the game for yourself. Just play it for yourself. See it for yourself. Yeah, it's $60, but who cares? It's a Pokemon experience. It's Pokemon. You know how it goes. It's still Pokemon at the end of the day. Half Pokedex or not, you're still gonna be doing the same shit. It's just improved, better looking, and better than the rest of the games. All right.
Right.
I have one thing to add to that.
Yeah.
It was going back to the controversy
What's up?
about the better animations. I hopped up on
Let me
Twitter.
stop you right there. You're gonna say a joke?
No. No. I'm not.
Ready.
No.
You had that joke smile.
No, it was funny when I hopped on and I just saw this post on Twitter. It was like, oh, Game Freak said they want to put better animations, right? So it played a clip of the game, right?
Of the dog animation?
Of the dog. Wait. Of the dog legendary Pokemon. And he did a God note, the God note.
Yeah.
Rotated. And he walked off.
That was whack. That was whack.
So he didn't physically turn around. He just went. He just flipped. the opposite way and walked away.
Yeah. His eye can't handle with one play.
His eye can't handle.
Rotate the god.
Oh my god.
Rotate the god. Yeah. Animation was still going, but just rotated.
That's hilarious.
That's why it's not a 9.
Oh my god.
That was the funny part.
That was hilarious.
That was the funny part. Oh my god.
Jesus.
Because I was thinking about it. I was just trying to keep myself from cracking up when you were talking about better animations. I'm like,
not what I saw.
Not what I saw. That's just that. That's what you. Well,
yeah.
I'm not sure what else they have to offer, but like from what I've seen, they've all the animation, even for the human characters.
Right, they've come along.
Your main character has emotions. Look at that. You see an evolution from Sun and Moon. Mm-hmm. They have emotions. They actually react. You see them getting upset, scared, like react.
Even more.
So it's great.
Okay.
Awesome. Pokemon Sword and Shield. Woo! I can't wait to get back and play. Tomorrow I'm just gonna be gone.
In it. Yeah, I'm really interested
Tomorrow
in
I'm
it.
gone.
That's why we're not doing gameplay.
I ain't got time for y'all.
He gonna be ghosts.
All right. Awesome. Well, time to talk about my favorite Pokemon, Scooby-Doo. So we just saw the new trailer for Scoob's.
Scoob.
Yeah, Scoopity-Doopity. Scooby-Doo. So it's a tale as old as time. Beauty and the Beast. Where we have young Shaggy meeting Scooby-Doo for the first time.
Before he went Super Saiyan.
Before Shaggy went God tier mode.
Before his including in Mortal Kombat 11.
That was the thing, right? Were they trying to get him when they were saying guest characters, the characters they want to see, and Shaggy was supposed to be?
Yeah.
How did that become a thing? I don't understand.
Because Warner Brothers.
Because Warner Brothers.
And Mortal Kombat is Warner Brothers.
That's true. So they were like, it's there. Just go ahead and put him in there.
Yeah.
But anyways, based off the trailer, we see Shaggy, and he's a little kid, and then Scooby's a puppy, and they instantly bond over food, which has always been their thing. They always love to eat snacks and munching on something, and it's like one of those coming of age stories, I guess.
Yeah.
Where it's them growing up together and building their relationship, and then they eventually run into the rest of the mystery gang, and fast forward, they're a lot older, and they're solving mysteries and
being homeless.
Yep, Shaggy and Scooby living in a van. Where were they at?
The one thing from the trailers that they introduced a superhero, the Falcon. I don't know if you remember. He's like the blue Falcon. He has like a robot dog that looks like Scooby.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes. Now that you mention it, but see, that's what I was saying. Like they should do like a whole Hanna-Barbera universe thing where they just start pulling in characters. That would be awesome.
But the comeback would be huge.
What would it? Something to think about, Warner Brothers. Y'all should definitely think about pulling in all those other shows like the Jetsons and the Flintstones.
Right.
That would be awesome.
On your left.
Yogi the Bear, but not the live action Yogi the Bear. Just scrap that idea. No more live action, all right?
Yeah.
Enough with the live action meets, the animated characters. We're good. We don't need them to come into our world. They're fine where they are. But anyways, it looks nice. Looks clean. Animation looks really good. We checked it out, and it's the studio that did
Book of Life.
Book of Life.
And Ugly Monsters. I mean, Ugly Dolls.
Ugly Dolls.
Ugly Dolls.
Which
Yeah,
nobody
it's just
cares because
Nobody
it's forgettable.
cares. I think Pitbull was in it, but whatever.
I think
Oh, he was.
He was one
That's
of
the only thing I
ones.
remember.
That's the only thing I remember. That's why I said it.
But Scoob.
But yeah, so just first glance, how does everybody feel about it? They think it's going to be good? Any predictions on the story or whatever?
Same old.
Yeah.
Wash and repeat.
Watch and repeat.
They got
I'm surprised they're doing like another Alien sort of movie.
Well,
Didn't they tackle that like around several times already?
no, I mean, no. Well, when they that was one of the mysteries. Yeah, the aliens came, but they uncovered it and saw it was people. It was that whole Area 51 storyline. I remember that. That was one of the animated movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one. For this one, they're doing more of like a superhero element because they got the Falcon coming.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's why. That was his ship that beamed them up. His ship beamed them up. Yeah. And then I don't know what those little robots are. I guess they're the aliens. I don't know.
I guess. All right.
Yeah. All right. Any other feedback? Anything you guys want to add to the trailer?
How it looks.
Jacob?
Oh, how it looks?
Yeah.
The animation is spectacular. No doubt about it. The characters, though, I ain't digging the look of Fred. He looks off to me. But
okay.
But the voice acting for Shaggy.
What?
It's my only gripe. It's like it doesn't feel authentic. It does like, hey there, Scoob. It doesn't have that essence, bro. Scooby Doo almost sounds like it. It seems right, but
I mean,
Shaggy doesn't feel right.
Scooby the only thing they replace is Shaggy, Velma, and Fred
and Daphne. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Fred Walker, who does Scooby Doo and Freddy, he only does Scooby Doo.
So gotcha. He's only doing Scoob.
Yeah.
All right.
And so they replaced him. I think Freddy is Zac Efron.
Freddy is Zac. Okay.
Yeah. And so I think they just needed like big celebrities.
Right, yeah, I get it. Yeah, because they gotta remember it's not about us. It's about the kids. They gotta market it to the younger audience and get them into it so they can buy the toys and the gifts and all that nonsense. But anyway.
Yeah, but I get all of that stuff, but there's a certain charm with the characters on the big screen. We see them all the time, but in 3D, like Pixar, it almost looks like Pixar quality animation. It's
it does, yeah.
It's like, it looks good.
Nah, it does look good.
It translated well from 2D to 3D.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But like, when I saw Scooby Doo when he was young, like, pup named Scooby Doo.
Of course you go sing the song.
Where are you? Scooby Doo. Oh my gosh. I was like, yes. Hey, nostalgia overload.
Alexis, where were you? You should have saved us from this.
You should have saw it coming.
I didn't see it coming.
It happened too quick.
No, but like, the general plot of it though, you already know. It's just a typical Scooby-Doo film. But, story, plot sort of thing. But like, I know recently, going back to Scooby-Doo though, remember Zombie Island, right?
Zombie Island. That's like the best one.
Fire movie.
It's like the best Scooby-Doo animated one.
Bruh. But then recently they came back with a sequel to it. It was called Return to Zombie Island. And it was like a direct-to-TV, like direct-to-DVD type of thing. And the fact that zombies existed, nope. They were humans dressed up in masks. And they just completely shut it down. I've heard so many things about it. I was like, bro, why? We got John Cena and all this other type of stuff, but bro, come on, man. Don't just run down the formula that kind of like deviated from the original formula.
Right, yeah, from that movie.
But like, I'm looking forward to Scoob, but I just want to see more. Maybe more trailers, we'll see, but the plot, we definitely need to see more about that and go on from there, you know?
Right. Okay, alright. We'll leave it on the back burner. We'll check it out. If somebody wants to bite the bullet and watch
It would be really funny if the alien they fight is actually Jumba.
Submit your character to Warner Brothers Studios.
That's right.
Because he was missing after all this time.
If Disney won't take you, Warner Brothers will.
I'm gonna body somebody today.
Goodness gracious. Alright, well that's it in the Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, that's honestly, there's nothing much more with Scoob.
Yeah, we'll just have to see what happens when it comes out.
Yeah.
And since we're already on this nostalgia trip, they just showed a new SpongeBob trailer. What's it called? SpongeBob on the Run?
On the Run.
Sponge on the Run.
Sponge on the Run. Sponge on the Run. Okay. And then from this trailer, it looks like he lost Gary, or someone took Gary.
Yep.
And he has to go find him. So, of course, he teams up with his buddy Patrick Star. And
road trip.
Yep. It's the buddy road trip movie. That's exactly what it is. And they go searching for Gary, and they get in trouble. in all the usual places.
And Keanu Reeves shows up.
Yes, Keanu Reeves is in everything now.
Yeah, after like you give him like one public stunt and everybody loves him, you just throw him on everything.
No, it's not that. It's you give him a gun and a dog. You're everything.
Right. America loves you. To protect and serve dogs. That's what he's there for. But yeah, it looks good. I like the style that they went with. It looks like they're doing that stop motion style, kind of like what they did with the Lego Movie and with Spider-Man. So they're not doing it at the full frame rate. Probably at like 16 frames.
Just gonna lag.
It's buffering the whole time you watch
it. You're coming up with jokes too.
Oh goodness. Alexis, you're the SpongeBob expert.
I'm the SpongeBob expert.
I wouldn't say expert.
But you're the SpongeBob fan.
I'm the SpongeBob fan.
Lamp is a SpongeBob fan.
Well,
right?
you both are. You both like SpongeBob.
I like SpongeBob.
Alright, since this is a competition,
don't fight over it, guys.
I'm not.
Your enthusiastic are tearing us apart. Someone take over.
What do you want to add? You want to say something?
Oh, what I wanted to say was, I'm excited, so to speak. Like, I'm excited for this film, but at the same time, I kind of get this essence of one of the episodes, Gary come home, where Gary is lost and someone has to find him and all this type of stuff. So it's going to be a feature film toward that area where he gets lost or kidnapped, whatever. But I want to see more. I mean, the jokes seem funny enough from the trailer, so I'm excited. Don't get me wrong. It's just, SpongeBob recently in show form has been running down in quality, but with the recent season they've been keeping it back up. They've been finally listening to people and trying new jokes and stuff like that.
Right.
So I'm excited. If the animation is fire, like it is already, but the writing is fire too. Okay.
Right.
Good sequel to the the first SpongeBob movie. I would love that.
But what about Sponge Out of Water?
Huh? Man, what?
That movie's a trick, son. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that
was a
something
trick.
else, man.
That was a trick.
That movie was something else. I saw it. That movie was something else.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. Anything you want to add?
Honestly, I'm not too into that new style. If I'm being 100%, I don't know why it just doesn't fit right with me. Because with Sponge Out of Water, I didn't like the movie as much, but like the 3D portion of it, it was nice. It was very lively. It was like it wasn't as like creative, like having like the frames drop or anything, but it was nice to visually look at like how smooth it goes, see how well the animation could go with how far they could take it and all that stuff. With this one, it's just like I'm not feeling it too well, and as far as I'm not that excited for it. And look at like the jokes they hit, and they hit, and like the only curious portion that I'm really curious about is the casino portion. Is like the casino part, mostly because it's the casino.
Yeah,
it's like they've been hammering down on like all this loot box stuff and gambling and everything for kids. And you got SpongeBob, the king of TV shows for kids, at a casino.
We're only 7, baby.
Ripping his pants off, showing that sponge do.
Sponge do. Lord.
Betting on 7s, baby.
Betting on 7s.
Let him ride.
Take it home.
Let him ride.
And like I don't know if like the whole point of like Gary getting kidnapped would have been like a better focus. Maybe just like SpongeBob had to go on a road trip and just travel the world before they come back home or whatever, in some sort of like whatever dire situation. Don't know, but I think like a Gary origin story along with Gary's missing, it just doesn't feel right. It for some reason, because like I know that there was a time when like the creator SpongeBob Stephen Hillenburg he specifically said that he didn't want any backstory for the characters, right? For the purpose of keeping the characters mysterious in their background and all that stuff. So now we're seeing they've been like breaking that ever since in the show they've been
but
breaking
hopefully
that.
In the movie it's sort of like
at least a little bit
like the old SpongeBob.
Right.
Maybe.
Even though they're doing like an origin story, but not really.
I know it's not like a full-on origin story.
Right. It's just him meeting Gary.
It's just seeing him for the first. I get it, but like, I don't know. It's just the whole movie just feels a little bit off. I'm still gonna watch it because it's SpongeBob. Still gonna watch it because it's gonna be funny. I know that for a fact. It's just initially, I gotta get used to it. Yeah. That's all. I just gotta get used to it. I gotta.
Okay. Well, I see the theme that they're going with for these animated movies now. All the characters in their youth meeting each other for the first time. So how Shaggy met Scooby. Now they're showing SpongeBob meeting Gary for the first time. And
speaking of youth, we're gonna hit you up with that one later. Youth.
The fountain of youth.
Youth.
Why do you say that?
Call the police.
All right, well there we have it. SpongeBob, the Hangover movie. What's up? You want to add something?
Yeah, there's a little bit. The studio that's working on it is called Micros Image.
Micros Image.
Yeah,
okay.
they worked on The Little Prince, Captain Underpants, the first epic movie.
Oh, okay. That's why it looks familiar.
Yeah.
It's Captain Underpants.
That's good. I like Captain Underpants movie.
And some others, but yeah, they're pretty good. And
Charlie Brown?
Charlie Brown?
No, not Sony.
Sony did Charlie Brown. Okay.
Yeah, but other than that, like going back to the stop motion field that they were going for recently, SpongeBob has been releasing specials of stop motion, and it's so lovable. Like they just released a Halloween special, and even though I didn't watch it, but I did like enjoy some parts of it, like some clips that I've seen. But yeah, like again with my point, SpongeBob, the story needs to be fire, animation's fire as it is, but
it'll be mild at best. It's still SpongeBob.
Yeah,
you watch SpongeBob for the clever jokes.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah, it's just a slapstick humor.
Like
slapstick,
and the memes. Can't forget about the memes.
Yeah. So that's it.
Yeah, but
how awesome would it be if they like do the memes in the movie? Like you see SpongeBob getting up out of the chair and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna head out.
I'm gonna head out." That would be amazing.
Or Patrick does his crazy eye evil look when he's looking over you. SpongeBob, you awake?
It looks like the scary sound. It's like.
Or the caveman meme, like.
Oh, yeah, they do the caveman. While they're in Atlantic City gambling, they do the caveman look. If they're smart, they would throw at least one or two memes. So they know that we're aware. We see what y'all do on the internet. That would make it that much more sweeter.
Oh,
yeah,
definitely.
They should definitely do that. Oh man. Now I'm more excited to watch it.
Not real. It's made up idea for this movie.
Right. Just throw it in there. Please let it be there. Alright, so that's it for the Hangover SpongeBob, right? We're good?
Yeah, that's right.
Alright, cool. Sanic.
Sanic.
The internet wins again. They have bullied these people into submission and hit them across the head. And they said, you know what? Y'all got it.
What a story, bro.
For real. For the first time, they actually, like, listened. And we're like, damn, is it worth taking the risk and putting it out there? Or should we really backtrack and just change it so we can give them what they want? And they
you know what the worst part of all of that?
What?
That movie's still gonna be ass.
Yeah, right? Because it's like, and that's what kind of bothered me too, because I'm like, come on, y'all really don't want to watch this movie. Just looking at it, it's like, it's kind of corny. Because again, it falls in the line of the Woody the Woodpecker live action movie and then the Yogi the Bear live action movie.
It feels just like that.
And what was the other one that came out? There was another live action animated character movie.
You're talking about Smurfs, Hops.
Smurfs was another one.
Oh, yeah, Smurfs.
Kangaroo Jack is that?
I mean, yeah, but that's an older one though. That's an older one. The one with the rabbit. What was the one with the rabbits? Hops. Was that it?
Peter
Hops.
Rabbit? Is that another one too?
Huh?
Peter Rabbit?
Peter Rabbit.
I think so, but
Yeah.
regardless,
they all fall in that realm of them bringing the cartoon.
And it's
characters
another road
into
trip movie too.
Right, another buddy road trip movie with Sonic and Cyclops, Scott Summers, running away from the law, Dr. Robotnik and his gang. So, but besides that, I mean, does he look great? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
He looks awesome. Huge.
That was worth bending the knee this time.
Yeah, that was definitely worth them going back to the studio and saying, you know what, we fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't blame the artists, I just probably blame the directors. Because I'm pretty sure the directors were like, this is the look we're going for. This is what we want.
Calves.
Right. We want calves. We want human teeth.
Yeah, I need people to like stop blaming the animators and the VFX artists because I can like 100% tell you it was not their fault.
Yeah.
It was definitely the higher ups, the directors.
Yeah.
Because the VFX artists I know were looking at their work going like,
What the hell are we
I'm not
What
putting this
are
on my
we
resume.
not going in their portfolio.
I'm not putting this in my portfolio.
Let me
I'll
tell
show
you,
a close-up of the hair, a detailed close-up so they can see I can do hair.
I'll show the calf for anatomy.
Look how clean them calves is. Why is it blue? Don't worry about that. Look how clean the calves are.
Just look at the anatomy.
the upper ups are like, I want calves and I want veins. All hair everywhere.
Everywhere.
And we're sponsored by Nike, so put those Nike shoes.
Right, exactly. Give him little beady eyes like a human. Like, what are we making? Sonic. This ain't Sonic.
This ain't Sonic.
Word. Sonic they wanted. Awful. But I am glad they decided to
Not
go
to,
change it.
but this is the thing. Now,
What was it?
do we have to? Now we have to watch it?
No.
Well, so then the next time something like this happens, then the studios shouldn't listen. Just put the trash out there then.
I mean, it was trash to begin with. In all honesty, like,
I mean,
Exactly.
they only changed the model, not the story.
Exactly.
True.
That's the problem.
Yeah, and like nobody asked for this. Like,
No, we didn't ask for the
no,
Sonic
nobody
to begin
asked
with.
for it.
well, not this type of Sonic movie. I mean, if they were gonna do a Sonic movie,
Like a full 3D one, like Scoob.
exactly, like stick with the trend. Just do a full on like
3D.
Scooby Doo, SpongeBob. Like you obviously have the quality, right? You have the talent to do the animation. Just do it full on. Just don't give us the whole mix in with it. It's too much. Like I hate when they decide to go that route with these characters in these movies. It's
So lazy.
because they never pan out well.
No, it's lazy.
They never pan
It
out
looks
well.
weird. It never feels right.
It never feels right. Never.
Look at Yogi Bear.
Yeah, I think the only movie in like the history of these movies that it actually worked and it was great was Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
No other
Exactly.
movie.
And because they
And as
only
much as
one.
I love Space Jam, like Space Jam is actually like a shitty movie.
it really is.
Yeah.
But I
Like
it.
the acting's terrible. Like Michael Jordan can't act to save his goddamn
Charles
life.
Barkley.
Charles Barkley's like all the NBA players are like come on, none of them can act. So that's why they had to throw in Bill Murray in there to kind of spice it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Some of the voice actors for the Looney Tunes, but other than that, like, but yeah, Who Framed Roger Rabbit is the only movie that did it and did it well, and that's it. It stopped
That's
there.
it.
No one else has been able to pull that off since then. Nobody.
Because nobody being creative.
Nah, they're not. There's no original storyline or nothing. Let's just slap in some celebrities and characters that everybody recognizes and see what happens. That's
The
what
trends
they
are like road trip. Something's missing.
something's missing. Yeah.
Some background.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Save my universe.
Right.
Kidnapped.
Kidnapped. Yeah.
That's it.
That's pretty much it. That's usually the ones they go with.
That's a little hero.
Yeah. That's it. So whatever.
It doesn't matter.
I mean, I'm glad he looks cool now. He looks
Yeah,
like
he looks
Sonic.
great.
But, you know, unfortunately, I don't...
If we were to ever make a Smash Brothers cinematic universe, we got the Pikachu, we got
Yeah. I've seen those images with Samuel L. Jackson. And he has Pikachu on his shoulder. He's like, I want to talk to you about the Smash Initiative. And he goes up to Sonic. He's just going to start collecting characters as they come out in movies and stuff and put them together. That would be crazy.
When that Mario movie comes out, by Illumination.
Oh boy.
Oh, by Illumination's doing a Mario movie?
Yeah.
What? It's just in talks. There's nothing.
It's just been in talks, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But before we move on, there's one thing I want to say.
Yes.
That's just like the internet. Like people are so fucking stupid. So like we changed everything, right? We changed the characters and all that stuff.
Right.
So tell me how they're gonna ask for a director's cut of the original song with the original song.
What?
Oh.
Why would they want
totally
that?
want that. Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Well, I guess so they can show people.
Yeah, of course.
So they can look at it and say,
Like,
look at this.
This is what we could have had.
Right. This is what we could have had and versus
I feel
what
like
we
that's
got.
more of a comedy.
Yeah.
Like, you watch it just to, like, laugh.
Something like the memes you
and,
get out of
and
that.
to be
the
like,
material.
hey, we bullied this studio
Into giving us
because
this.
of how bad this looked to change it to this.
That's
But we
terrible.
still have the original to laugh at.
Yep.
I think they deleted that stuff.
Yeah, they probably threw that bitch in the vault.
Oh, well, the
Locked
internet
away.
has it. Don't worry.
Someone has.
Yeah, I mean, we got pictures and we got the original trailer, so I mean, they can't erase it from the internet.
I mean,
but the full movie itself, I don't
if
think
they do that, that'd be funny. It's like watching your own car accident.
Watching your own car accident. This is what y'all wanted. Here you go.
And it's crazy because, you know, not only, like, they didn't only have to change the models, and we were watching Corridor Crew earlier, and they were talking about the new Sonic trailer, but it's true that they had to probably redo a lot of the animation as well.
Yeah.
And the whole trailer as a whole, overall, looks better. Not just Sonic, but, like, everything looks better.
Yeah.
And I just hope the animators are okay.
Right.
Because they did a lot of work. They remodeled, redesigned an entire character. They had to reanimate, go through the VFX, redo them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
In a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, pretty much dead. We killed him.
I'm surprised they didn't say,
Good job, y'all.
you should reanimate Eggman.
Just now y'all asking for too much. Can we make him look like Dr. Robotnik? Give him the big round belly and the little head and the glasses? Now they ask for too much. What's up?
I'm sorry, one last thing.
No, good.
They should have kept Gangsta Paradise.
I mean, music choice?
You know what? Yeah, because you know what? Supersonic,
It's better than them
Paradise.
going with Supersonic.
That is.
That's too main.
That's
That's
that
like
was corny.
slap it in your face.
It's overplayed.
Yes, it's a song that has the word Sonic in it. Gotcha. Thank you.
Context.
So you want him to go to Sonic's too? I think he's gonna go to Sonic's.
Right?
He's gonna
He's going to go to Sonic.
I'm not gonna watch this movie, man.
Yeah.
Oh, because he eats chili dogs. And they sell chili dogs. You can get a chili dog
It's
at
gonna be
Sonic.
so corny.
Sonic's going to go to Sonic to get
Now
a
we
chili
have to
dog.
watch the movie. We have to.
Now we have to watch
We
it.
need
so
to
can
know
make
if our
fun of it.
predictions are right.
It's
Yeah,
right.
We should bring a checklist and be like, yep, they did that. They did that we said. Yep. Do all that. Do you think towards the end they're going to show all the other Sonic characters? What if they never changed them? What if they kept them the same, but they only changed Sonic, and Sonic's looking horrified, like, what is that? What?
That would be so
And they were like,
funny.
Sonic, they didn't save us. And he closes the portal out and says, yep, I'm gonna stay on Earth. No need to go back there.
When Dick
Could you imagine, like, Knuckles? Knuckles is all jacked with, like, pecs like the Rock. And he got big ass arms. Legs and
Voiced by Terry Crews.
voice back there. Who's the other one? Tails. He Tails in there. Looks like a preteen, tall and skinny.
Calf muscles.
I had a messed up idea. How Tails will look. He'll look like a cross blend between Michael Cera.
Oh, God. Michael Cera.
That's Dave. Michael Cera.
That's all you had to say.
You're just Michael Cera.
Michael Cera already looks
He
like a
does-
bird.
Right. You don't need to cross him with nobody else. Tails.
Damn, I'm afraid to know what Amy Rose looks like.
Oh, God.
Oh, I already know how Rogo's Battle is gonna look like.
Oh,
Oh, I don't
God.
look like Sonic, the original one.
And then,
Yeah.
what about this? What about this? If Jim Carrey creates Metal Sonic, does he look like?
Does he like the original Sonic? Does he look... It's like I got these old blueprints I found for a Sonic concept. Check it out. Oh my
That is
goodness! Who knows what
disgusting.
to expect? Who knows? Maybe who knows? Maybe it might surprise us. It comes out and we see him like it wasn't that bad.
Alright.
It was
I
terrible.
know.
Yes.
It was terrible.
Go ahead. What are you gonna say, Jacob?
But yeah, my thoughts on the trailer was,
Uh-huh.
I mean, we got to see Green Hill Zone,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of changes. I'm very ecstatic about that. Comparing that to the original trailer, though,
Right. Yeah.
when I first saw it, Sonic looked like a Animorph cross blend between like a regular hedgehog in the street. It looked disgusting. Like I was like, every day we stray far away from God. Like that me. And then looking at this, looking at this trailer, seeing Sonic the way he's supposed to look, I'm like, I'm reminded of the Sonic X. Ooh, ooh, go.
I knew it was coming. As soon as he said Sonic X, I knew he was going to sing this song.
I knew he was gearing up for something like this.
He's just urging to say, gotta go.
I'm gonna add to like my job description for this podcast. Stop Jacob.
Stop Jacob
by any means.
The Jacob preventer.
The Jacob preventer.
Notice the warnings.
Please, we need a hero.
Whenever Jacob opens his mouth to talk, stop right there.
Halt before you continue.
Right.
But like, I was like,
stop right there.
I'll stop. Not.
Well, moving on.
All right.
But yeah, hold on.
Go ahead. No.
yeah. But like, continuing on, I was sad to not see Chris and the grandpa, and you know.
But they're not.
It's not Sonic X.
It's not
Oh
Sonic
my
X.
god! All right, moving on.
Get out of here. We're not talking about that. The only thing I was going to add is that they saturated the colors. That was it. So it made them more. The blue is more vibrant.
Yeah.
The shoes are brighter. Even the eyes, the green in his eyes.
He got the original shoes.
Yeah, they gave him the original shoes with the large socks that hang over his feet and the white gloves instead of giving him furry hands that were white. And like that made no sense.
Right.
And if you go back and look at the original idea, even the color tone that they used, like his chest wasn't white. Yeah. He had like this weird tan color on his chest and his finger. It was terrible. Mm-hmm. It was terrible. But I'm glad they went back, and hopefully the kids see it and they get all the money back for all the hard work they did. And yeah, it wasn't all in vain.
I'll leave it for the kids.
Do it for the kids. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, The Empire Strikes Again, and the Dark Overlord Mickey has released Disney Plus.
What a crash!
And everybody, they mama on that bitch, I tell you. You can't even get in sometimes. Everybody, the day it released, everybody was logging in and trying to watch stuff. It was like, nope, sorry. Too many people trying to access this right now. And I don't think they were prepared for the number of people that were like going to jump on it.
That's stupid.
Yeah, actually, when I got on that night, I went to click on Gargoyles to add it to my list, and then it said, "Sorry, this content is not available on Disney Plus," and it just disappeared.
Oh, what the hell?
And I couldn't find it. I'm like, where did it go?
We never were here.
Yeah, it was glitching like crazy.
Got your money though, bye.
It's funny because I never like I woke up. Well, my dog woke me up like at 5 in the morning during that day, and I was like, "Oh, this is Plus Kid." And I downloaded my phone. I did all the stuff, and I was like, "Okay." And then I started watching Mandalorian, and nothing happened.
Right.
I was like, nothing happened until like later on in the week where I was like telling you that, yo, Disney Plus is not that bad. And then I was watching the Captain America First Avenger. I actually never watched that movie.
Oh, okay.
So I watched it for the first time, and then it was like, and it was buffering. I was like, what is that's weird. It's like it stops and then
it'll keep on it.
Yeah.
It did that to us today.
And and it did me like 2 times during I was watching the movie. It's like, damn, what the hell is going on? It's like, is my thing broke? and then I realized, oh, it's crashing.
Yeah.
Like, did Mickey's face like flicker throughout the stops?
No, you know what's funny? In the phone, when you press like a thing and it doesn't show up, you'll see the characters from what's it called, Wreck-It Ralph, and they have the
Fisher Phillips.
Yeah, and they have the Wi-Fi. It's like, sorry, your Wi-Fi. It doesn't like
what?
That's
for
real. Wi-Fi.
That's kind of cute.
That's funny because like, what happened to my stuff? Like, oh, Fisher Phillips. Oh, my shit's broke.
Exactly.
What's this? Oh, they ain't got no Wi-Fi.
Yeah, Felix.
But it did crash on me. When I was talking, we had the meeting, right? And I was talking to Jacob, and I was telling him all the shows that were there were reminiscing of like the Disney Channel shows. And it's like, oh, they had this and that, and it's like, oh, it crashed.
Yep. Yeah, it definitely has its moments where it slows down, it's buffering, and you're watching it, and the audio goes, and it's just a still image of the character. And then either it'll speed up to catch to where it is, or if you stop, because what I did, I just stopped it and rewinded it like maybe 30, 40 seconds, and then hit play, and then it catches it, and then it just keeps going from there. So, yeah, mean, they got some bugs to fix. Like I said, I don't think they were prepared for the number of people that were going to be using it on their servers. So once they get into the groove of the whole streaming biz, then definitely. But yeah, like I went through all the shows. I was just like add. I was adding all the popular shows from the 90s and early 2000s. So I added DuckTales and Darkwing Duck and Goof Troop and, of course, Gargoyles. That was like the number one thing. As soon as I watched The Mandalorian.
Oh, you found it?
Yeah, it's on there. It's back on there.
Yeah, it's back on.
Like, as soon as I watched The Mandalorian, I was like, all right, where's Gargoyles? So I added it, and I started watching, like, all of the first... I almost got through the first full season. Because I was just sitting there, I was like, man, this is great. Like, I forgot how awesome the show is. And the story is, like, fantastic. Mm-hmm. Super, super mature. Like, because there's no other show like that on there. And what else did I find on there? The Mighty Ducks.
Oh,
I don't know if you guys remember The Mighty Ducks.
They got all
I was watching that today.
They got 1 and 2?
Yeah. They got all the Mighty Ducks on there. The animated series where they're like jacked up superhero ducks. Mm-hmm. What was the other
X-Men.
one? X-Men I added X-Men. All the X-Men show. X-Men Evolution, X-Men, Wolverine and the X-Men. Woo. I added the Spider-Man series, the original one, the old school one.
Oh my god.
I added that one on there. The Incredible Hulk. I didn't know they had the Incredible Hulk series. The original one. They got that. Fantastic Four.
And
they got the original Fantastic Four. They got the original Iron Man. They got the original Silver Surfer. So I haven't seen Silver Surfer in like ages. I didn't even know that was still floating around out there. So yeah, I was just like,
power to me. The mouth just like that too. Like,
right. He's rubbing them hands together. He's rubbing them hands together.
I was excited because I went and I was like, you know what? I want to see if they have something like that. Been up in the way.
That's right.
And I saw, I was like, oh shit,
they have all the original Disney movies, all the classics, all the old shows, things you wouldn't even expect to see on there. Mm-hmm. I was having this conversation yesterday. Disney is making money feeding off of our generation's nostalgia.
Yeah.
That is what they're doing with the live action, and that's what they're doing with Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it's gonna last. I don't think it has the same longevity as Netflix does, because I feel like once everybody's done binging those shows, like, does it have a staying power? Yeah. If they keep up with The Mandalorian, and if they keep up with any other original series that they're doing, like the Marvel series and the movies that they're putting on there, maybe, but they have to keep up with it. I don't think it's the same as Netflix. Yeah, they can't take a break. As soon as they do, I would unsubscribe.
Once I'm done watching all those old cartoons, I'm like, all right, what else?
Yeah, that was my drawback, because when I was looking and I was in awe, like, wow, they have everything, except they don't have all of it. They
don't have the Proud Family.
Huh?
Yeah, they only have the movie.
Son, yes.
They only have the movie.
Yeah, we were talking about today. I was like, do you know these bastards don't have the Proud Family?
Yeah, they don't have.
They have the movie. Mm-hmm. They don't have the animated series.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are the Blue Sisters too ashy for
you?
They're missing a couple of shows too.
But apparently they're gonna do new episodes for the Proud Family, because Alexis looked it up. Yeah. So they're purposely holding it until they get those new episodes, and then they're gonna release it.
That's what I was telling.
They know they know we waiting on it.
we waiting on
it. That's funny, because that's what I was talking to Jacob before it crashed. It's like, they don't have the Proud Family show. They have the movie, but I think it's because they're making the show.
Yeah. Right.
So
So probably once they do that, then they'll add it on there or whatever the case may be.
But the thing I like about it though is like watching the old cartoons.
Yeah. No, definitely.
But the thing is, like, when I went to look at it, it's like, they don't have all of it.
They don't have Bear in the Big Blue House.
Huh?
No, they don't.
Nope.
No.
What?
Roly Poly.
Nope. Open up this Disney Plus app right now.
But you know what they got? Outside.
Out of the box.
Out of the box.
Out of the box.
Yep, they got that.
Out of the box.
Hey.
Out of the box.
Hey, don't let that, like,
but that's how they get you. That's how they get you.
That's how they get you.
Oh, they don't have this.
We
got
got
out of
this.
the box. Oh.
Hey.
You just forgot about everything.
It's the gospel. You forgot about Proud Family, Roly Poly.
Big Blue House.
Avenge of all.
That's how they distract you. They wave that carrot in front of your face.
Yeah.
Don't worry about them.
They had the Little Mermaid animated series. Yeah.
They got Hercules.
They
Hercules
got the
anime
Hercules.
series is dope.
Yeah.
I did like the Hercules.
I like
When
that.
he's in like high school or whatever. Him and Icarus.
And Cusco.
Yes, they have Cusco.
Emperor New School.
Yep.
All the seasons, boy.
Yeah, I'm watching that.
I mean,
Trust is going on my
I
list.
mean, I don't got roly polioli.
But
But
look at all these others that you used to watch. Got you before. Embrace.
You already got.
Right? Just go
Don't
let me
fight
hug
it.
you. Come here.
Do they have Lilo and Stitch series?
They do.
Yes, they do.
The whole
They do.
thing?
They do.
All
And the
right.
movie.
It's on,
And
in the
the movie.
movies. No, it's on there. Lilo and Stitch is on there.
Yep. That was
Yep.
my
now you can
favorite.
watch Jumba and how you supposed to.
The original. Yes, Jake.
You know the funny thing, like
Uh-huh.
you guys depressed me when you said Roly Poly wasn't in there because I was talking to my brother the other day. I was saying,
Mhm.
"Hey man, they got Roly Poly on there." I didn't even have Disney Plus. I just
Right, you
figured,
just told him.
You
Right,
figured.
it would be on there.
son, we were just dancing
like
like Roly Poly. Around,
Adam. The little
What?
robot, he do a little bop.
son. But like,
I remember that shit.
it's discouraging to hear that not everything's in there. I mean, Disney's
I'm
like,
sure it'll come.
I know
Yeah.
in time, but Disney's thinking like, ha 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 ha, how fools, hook, line, and sinker.
Yep,
They're
you
doing
know
it.
it.
They're doing it on purpose.
No,
they're not
they're
going to
not.
release all the content at the same
They're
time
not.
because then
Mm.
people are going to unsubscribe.
They're missing a lot of the classic stuff too.
Like,
Yeah.
like
But
I,
they'll
I-
release it, I think.
I really enjoy like watching those old cartoons.
I do too, man. Like this
Yeah,
morning,
that's
I felt like a kid again. Like I was going through the list and I was
Saturday-
watching one episode
Saturday morning
of each.
cartoon.
Yep, I watched one episode of X-Men, then I watched Incredible Hulk,
Mhm.
then I watched like 3 episodes of Spider-Man. I just got sucked in to watch the Spider-Man. I was like, dang, son, I remember all this.
Right.
And I just got pulled into the story all over again. Yeah. Nah, it was.
And like watching like the older cartoons, like
Mhm.
like watching Mickey and Donald and Goofy being the first Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That was awesome.
Or that old. What's that one with Donald? The 3.
Oh, the 3.
Oh, Kata.
Caballeros?
Yeah,
Is it the 3
Cab-
Caballeros?
Yeah.
Yeah, the 3
The
Caballeros.
3 taco benders.
All right.
Wow.
Clear, did you want to say
Yeah,
anything?
Clea, do you know anything
We're
about?
hogging up the Disney spotlight here.
Oh man.
Y'all said X-Men.
Oh, yes, it's on there.
Evolution and the 90s cartoon?
Yep, Evolution and the 90s cartoon.
And
Wolverine and the
yeah,
X-Men.
Wolverine.
Oh my god, they need to finish that series.
I know, they just stopped. They're like,
It was getting good, they're like, nope.
nope. But yeah, they got all of them on there.
Oh my god. I think I might take a look.
That's it. Once you download that app,
That's a wrap.
it's over. You think you're going to unsubscribe. They're like, just put your credit card information in. We ain't going to charge you for the first month.
First
For
week.
7
First
days.
week. I'm
First
sorry.
week.
Got
They
you,
don't even
boy.
give you a month.
Right, but it's up to you to remember to cancel it. 'Cause if you don't, they coming. Coming for that check.
Yeah, they're gonna bill me the 19th.
Yep. The 19th.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
You fools, I haven't even started yet.
Just like
Snap my chew for me.
Right, exactly.
The only negative I'll give it is the interface. It's pretty kind of
Yeah, I don't like the interface.
It is lackluster.
Yeah, it's like outdated.
But you know what? That just comes with time because it's kind of
Yeah.
like Netflix wasn't where it is now because I like Netflix's interface.
Oh, yeah, it's cool.
But before when Netflix first started, like you just had to
It
like
looked like that.
scroll.
It looked
It looked like
Disney
that.
Plus.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
It looked just like the way Disney.
It was
It had the little
exactly
menu
like
on
that.
the side, and it just had the
Yep.
movies listed, and it was like maybe 3 or 4 or 5 categories to choose from, and then you had to search for everything else. Like
Yeah.
everything wasn't just thrown up there for you to kind of jump to easily.
Mhm.
So right now they just put the convenient stuff. You want to watch Disney movies, you want to watch Star Wars, you want to look at Marvel, like just hit the top topics, and then bam, you're there.
And the other one is the Simpsons.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The older episodes, they stretched them.
Oh yeah, I heard
Yeah.
about that.
And because I went and watched because
What do you
I
mean
like
they stretched them?
they stretched the video quality.
The ratio?
No, the
Yeah,
aspect
Yeah,
ratio.
Oh, ew.
Because it was
Wow.
4:3.
Widescreen.
It was
4
4:3, I think,
and
originally,
they put it
right?
16. Yeah.
And they did the,
So now the image fits the whole.
Yeah.
right,
Ew.
16,
They were right
69.
Fit the
Fit the resolution.
resolution, right click.
But they didn't do that with the other old animated shows. Like when I was watching Gargoyles, like it was still on the 4x3, and it had the 2 black bars on the side because there's no higher quality of it yet. So it just had that little screen in the middle with the 2 black bars on the side.
Probably
But that's
from
the thing.
YouTube.
That's what
Probably Disney's like, I ain't paying y'all to give me my YouTube download.
that's
We're gonna
what,
stay in the office overnight and download all these episodes.
that's been the controversy about The Simpsons. That you watch the old episodes and the new ones, of course, they're widescreen.
Right? Yeah, the new ones.
But like for whatever reason, they just blow them up, and it's like, okay, well,
I just that's kind of a
Yeah,
petty thing to complain about.
not
It's the
really.
same episode.
It's not really because
Did they change the episode?
Because they cropped out a lot of the jokes and stuff like that. I feel like
What do you mean?
what the.
Go ahead.
I don't know what happened right there.
Mm-hmm.
No, they cropped out a lot of the jokes. Like there's some like.
You mean they edited out?
No. Like when they
Portions?
stretch it out, they sometimes crop some like how the Simpsons will write some clever jokes. They will write things down. Since they stretch it, they'll cut it. So there's like a picture online where it's like there's a joke called they go to see the Duff manufacturer and you see Duff Light, Duff Beer, whatever.
Oh, got you.
And Duff
And
Dry.
the
And so the
text is
joke
cut out.
so the joke is like all the beer is the same.
Right.
But since they widescreen, they cut down Duff Dry. So all you see is like Duff and Duff whatever and then just the beer. So you don't see where they're talking about.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's pretty much.
It crops off some of the image.
Yeah, so
if
that's-
there's
But
a
how does it
relevant
crop
joke.
it if 16:9 is a wider frame? You
'Cause-
mean like
'cause-
this way?
No, they widescreen it.
I don't understand.
You know how it's like this,
Right.
Yeah.
4x3.
and they stretch it out.
So you're saying the black bars are on the bottom, or
No,
sticking
there's
out
no
the-
black bar. It's just full.
Just full screen.
Oh, so they
Full
just
screen.
corner
Oh, I
click
see what you
shift
mean.
and they just
Yeah,
dragged
they
it.
dragged it out.
They didn't remaster.
Well,
Without
they
even
scaled-
trying
yeah,
to
exactly.
make it
They
fit
scaled
in
it.
the drag.
They scaled
So
it
if
up.
it's cut, it's cut.
So let me
Yeah.
tell you, when you look at the animation,
Oh, that's lazy.
you know how
Yeah.
back then they were all cell shaded, right?
Yeah, no.
So since they stretched it out, they look like they're coming out from their
Oh,
cells.
that's bad.
Oh.
I didn't think they
I'm about to
did
look
that. I
at
thought
it.
they
Now I
like
wanna see
remastered.
it.
No, they not.
Now I wanna see it.
They had the remastered
Uh-huh.
on the FX one.
Ah, yes.
Like if you watch FX and they show The Simpsons, they have
You
the
see the
they have
yeah.
the remaster
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they put it on Hulu, and so they were like,
Yes, it's on Hulu.
well, it used to be the old ones, but the old
Okay.
ones used to be like fully remastered, like Blu-ray versions.
Uh-huh.
But in here, since they were supposed to be like transfers,
Mhm.
they didn't transfer the HD. They just got the scaled up version of it for whatever reason,
Oh, that's bad.
and they just left it like that. So I don't know.
Yeah. Alright. But again, that's a small, minor complaint, I guess. I mean, if you want to go back and look at all the
that's
old
just
Simpsons,
to watch the old Simpsons.
Yeah, if you want to watch the old Simpsons, I get it. Yeah, you want to see everything. You want to catch everything.
And on episode 20 of the second Cody.
Oh my God.
Season 4 with Chris Brown.
Yeah.
What happened? They cut the episode out with him and Chris Brown?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, wow. They legit took this man off.
They're like,
There was an elevator present.
But y'all can keep songs of the South, though. Alright.
Songs from the South is not Disney Plus.
It's not on there? They
They
didn't put
actually
songs
have
of the
a,
South?
they
Oh,
have a
okay.
disclaimer. Have you guys seen the disclaimer?
For Disney?
Oh, they have that for Dumbo.
Dumbo.
Dumbo
And
has
they have
it.
them for. Was it only Dumbo? I think they have it in a few other movies.
Probably.
It's like,
For them
oh,
racist ass crows they put in there.
essentially, yes. It's just like, hey, this may contain.
This might trigger you.
The way they said it was kind of weird, because it's basically like, hey, there's
It ain't
some
our
racist
fault.
shit in here.
Right. It ain't
But
our
they're
fault.
like, oh,
it's a product of
it
its
may
time,
include
right?
some cultural depictions. I'm like,
What?
what?
Oh, the other one is
What
Lady and the
disclaimer is
Tramp.
that?
Lady and the Tramp.
Lady and the
Lady
Tramp
and the
because of the
Tramp.
Siamese cats,
Yeah.
the Chinese Siamese. Like
Right.
that's like super racist. And they got the little eyes. We are Siamese.
Yeah,
Like, come on, you can't do
right.
So that was another one they did it on too. Was Lady and the Tramp, Dumbo, and there's one more. There's another movie. I can't think of it right now, but I know there's another movie that they have it on. I want to say it's Peter Pan.
They didn't have it on Peter Pan. That
Oh,
was
they didn't
the-
put it on Peter Pan.
No.
I wonder why not.
They should have.
What
They
about
should've.
Pinocchio?
I don't know.
But what was on Pinocchio that was?
Smoking, the little kids turning into donkeys.
Oh, but I mean, but we're talking about like them.
I mean, the cultural depictions.
Yeah, the cultural
we're talking more
depictions.
like that,
Because I know in Peter Pan it was the Native Americans.
Yeah, but they don't have it on Peter Pan, and they don't have it on Aladdin either. And I know people are complaining about that too.
Aladdin.
Then they should complain about The Simpsons with Apu.
Yeah, I mean, at this point,
Point,
he's not even on the show no more. They took him off because of that.
At this point, they should put a disclaimer on everything.
Yeah, just to be safe, disclaimer on all, because we don't know what they was doing when they made this. But what can you do, right? It is what it is, a product of its time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know Warner Brother is doing it too for Looney Tunes now.
But their disclaimer is way better.
Yeah, they kind of like apologize for it on theirs.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we understand, we don't mean to offend anybody, but due to like pretty much they want to keep it in its original art form, so you can still watch it and appreciate it for what it was worth.
But they literally say like, hey,
but
like
just
this
be aware,
was racist.
Yeah, this is racist, and we do not believe in this, and this is not what we, you know what I mean? They kind of make up for it, like especially with like old Bugs Bunny jokes and stuff. So
right.
yeah. But yeah, it's on there. So that's some of the features of Disney Plus.
Disney Plus, it's good. Could be better.
Could be better. We'll see. We'll see what time. We'll see where they go with it.
I mean,
they already got us hooked because of the Mandalorian, which is our next topic. Woohoo!
The one reason why we got
Disney for free.
That's the sole reason
I mean, to be
subscribed.
honest, that's like, because if you would have told me, oh, you get to watch all your old favorite Disney shows, YouTube. I can go to
secret spots,
right? Stuff people post up all the time, like. But the Mandalorian, no, definitely, bro. It's like top notch. Like,
Yeah,
this is what we've been waiting for. Finally, they gave us like a decent Star Wars story that we can follow and like get into and just get sucked into the world of Star Wars. It's great. Alexis, you wanna?
Absolutely.
I know you died to talk about it. It's so good.
Okay, so yeah, before I start talking about it, there's gonna be some spoilers here. So
spoilers.
if you guys don't want to hear the spoilers, stop listening or skip to the end.
Can I go ahead and leave the room?
No.
And I wouldn't want to hear these spoilers if you haven't seen them yet, but
I don't think they're make or break spoilers. So.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I think so. I would have been very upset.
Well, yeah, for
if
the
I
second
had,
episode, I
yeah.
guess. If somebody told me.
If somebody told me at the end of episode 1, I would have been like,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'll manage.
Yeah.
So, Mandalorian, it focuses on your main protagonist, who's right now an unnamed Mandalorian bounty hunter, played by Pedro Pascal. Mm-hmm. And the show it looks beautiful. Mm-hmm. It feels like Star Wars. You start this and you're like, this is what I have been waiting to see. Mm-hmm. And the world is perfect. The attention to detail is beautiful. Not a lot of dialogue, which I think works perfectly for the story they're trying to tell.
Yep.
So, you kind of start off with him. I love the opening scene in the cantina, because you have him come in and these two guys are starting like kind of a fight, right? With one of these other guests at the cantina, and they start fighting, and the Mandalorian, he kind of gets involved, right? And this scene is really, really nice, and I think you guys should watch it. But basically, one of the guys tries to jump out of the door, and the door kind of closes like a camera lens, right? Yeah, and the Mandalorian ends up like closing that door as soon as he's jumping out, so the guy kind of gets sliced. Yeah. But you don't see it, so I'm like, oh, this is how this show's gonna be, huh?
Yeah, because the way the angle shot that they do it is they kind of make it out of focus, so you're looking at the Mandalorian and you can see the guy's legs hanging out the door out of focus, and you just see the legs drop, and it goes boom, and he's just looking, and you're like, oh, he just closed the door and cut this dude in half.
Right, so everybody in the cantina's kind of like, oh shit.
It's going down.
And then the guy that was kind of being picked on in the bar fight was like, oh, thank you so much, like thanking the Mandalorian. Right. And he was like, well, actually, I'm actually here for you. So I was like, oh, yeah. You see no mercy. It's like, yeah, I'll help you because these guys are being assholes. But the bottom line is I'm here for you. Yep, so I'm going to take you. You're the bounty.
Cue the Mandalorian title. That's how it starts too, just like that.
Yep.
And the title comes in.
So yeah, he takes him. I'm not gonna go through the whole story, but after he is collected, he ends up going to another guy, Herzog. I forgot his name now.
Yeah.
But he's basically the one.
Apollo
He used
Creed.
to have imperial ties, and by this time, remember, the Empire has fallen.
Mm-hmm.
He used to have imperial ties, and he reached out to him because this Mandalorian is supposed to be one of the best. And he's putting a bounty on a 50-year-old person or something, right? We don't know at that time what it is, but he's paying a lot for him or her. And he takes it, and when he goes to collect the bounty, he meets this new character, Kuil. Was that his name? Kuil.
Cool. Yeah, it's like Kuiil.
And yeah, he teaches him how to ride these animals called droids, and
Nick
he has to go
Yeah,
to the area where the bounty is being kept, and the Kuil was telling him that everybody that has tried to get said person has died. And then when you see him in that battle, there's another assassin droid, right? A bounty droid,
Yeah.
a bounty hunter droid, and they start fighting together, trying to get rid of all these people.
So that droid is like John Wick all rolled up in one.
Essentially.
Because he's like pew pew pew. Because he can rotate his body and his head that has little lasers on him. So he just kind of just turns, and he's in the middle of the battlefield, and he's just turning and shooting everybody and hitting all the targets. And you just see all these guys just dropping and falling off the building.
The Matrix.
Yep.
And by this point, I'm thinking, like, what is it that they're protecting so fiercely?
Yeah.
Like, what is this, you know? And after, because, you know, the Mandalorian and the droid kind of like teamed up to get this bounty together. And once everybody was taken care of, they walk in and they see like a little ball kind of thing, kind of just floating there. So they walk up to it and you see it's a little baby Yoda. And you're like, oh! Oh no! What? That makes sense now. Like why everybody was so protective of it, right? Why? Well, multiple reasons. We thought Yoda was the last of his kind, right?
Yeah.
This species is very like mysterious. We don't know anything about Yoda's species other than they're very force sensitive and they're very powerful.
Yep. Like they don't even have a name for the species.
They don't have a name.
Yeah, George Lucas never named it.
He wanted him to be very just
like,
mysterious.
ambiguous.
Yoda
Yeah.
is
Like, you know nothing
a
about
magical
him or
being.
his history or his.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the droid is like, points the gun at him. Mind you, he's 50 years old, the little baby Yoda, but since they have such long lifespans, he still looks like a little infant. So he's so cute.
He is super
And then the
adorable.
droid like just straight up points the gun at his head. I'm like, no.
You gonna clock him?
Yeah. Because the droid said, well, the request says to bring him
To
in.
terminate.
To terminate once found. And he gets ready. He's a droid.
No, he's like,
there you got no feelings.
He's like, too bad we won't see, like, because the Mandalorian's like, oh, he's like, we gotta see when he grows up. He's like, too bad we will not see it.
And you hear the gunshot.
You hear the gunshot and the Mandalorian shot.
But the Mandalorian shot the droid because you're only seeing his face and you're not seeing what he didn't. He ended up shooting the droid so he wouldn't kill Baby Yoda. And that's how the episode ends.
You got a soft spot.
Yeah.
So he does have a soft spot. We're kind of like learning a little bit about who his character is. He's an orphan.
Yeah, that's part of it. He's an orphan.
It's part of his character. So we're kind of still learning. Like, does he have a soft spot? Yeah, he does. Because he could have taken the bounty dead, but he also gets a higher reward if he's alive.
Yeah. So that's kind of the mindset I was thinking. I was like, well, maybe he's just like, you know what? I can get way more if I bring him back alive. So let me keep him alive so I can get more money for it.
Now, in this little journey back with episode 2, I don't know right now if he's really gonna return him or if he's gonna like keep him?
Right.
Like, I
Find
don't
out
know.
more
He's a
information.
bounty hunter, so you would think he would kind of like give him back.
Right.
Or not give him back, it's not theirs, but you know, collect his bounty. But I'm curious to see like why they want him. How did they find out about him? Where he came from? Is he related to Yoda?
That would be.
I don't know.
That would be a good thing.
That would be interesting.
Right.
Like, did Yoda get down? Did he go against his Jedi beliefs?
There are females. There are females of the species.
Wasn't there a female
Yaddle?
in the first? Yeah.
Yaddle. She was on the council.
She was on the
She
Jedi
had the brown
Council.
hair. She looked just like Yoda, but just with long brown hair. She was sitting in the chair.
Put a mix.
I mean, when they're older, they look like little old people.
Yeah.
Because they got the little wrinkly forehead, but she had long brown. So yeah, there are females of his alien species.
And another thing was the guy who gave the bounty, there was a doctor with him. So people are kind of speculating, like, maybe he wants Baby Yoda so that they can clone him. Which, but I don't know if do clones transfer, like, powers? Like, does a clone acquire the powers of the original?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a new reset.
But that's just a theory.
That is a new reset. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if they just want to kill it, but why would he bring him back alive? Why do they want him alive? You know?
Oh, man.
There's just a lot of speculation, and it's just so good, guys. It's so good.
It.
And then episode 2, Yoda. He's not Yoda, but Baby Yoda.
Yeah, that's all we can call him, Baby Yoda.
Dude, I couldn't even watch the episode because I was like, oh my god.
As soon as I saw him, you know what I said when I saw him? I was like, he looks like a Mogwai.
He does.
Yep.
He does look like
just
a
from
Mogwai.
Gremlins. He looks just like the Mogwai from Gremlins.
And Jamal was like, oh, they're going to sell so many toys.
Yo,
I'm like, I'm right there in line. I'm going to get my little Baby Yoda toy.
All Star Wars stories has the cute element. There it is right there. And he's cuter than like all the
He
other
is cuter than an
cute
Ewok.
characters that
He
they
is
put
cuter
out.
than whatever the little shits
The
are in the new
pogs.
movies.
The pogs. The ones that get eaten. The little
No.
Yeah,
Baby Yoda is... Oh.
Takes out his hand.
Yep, he looks like a little gizmo. A little green gizmo.
Oh, and in episode 2, another spoiler, sorry. The Mandalorian's fighting this creature, right? Because the Jawas took his ship apart.
Can I say him sniping the Jawas were the best?
Oh, him sniping Jawas was
God, dude.
awesome, bro. Like, he saw
and
them
kind of yanking them out of the tank.
Yeah, because he saw them stripping his... Because that's what they do. They just, like, take stuff so they can trade. So they were stripping his ship apart while he was gone, collecting the bounty. Yeah. So when he got back, he just saw a ton of Jawas just, like, pulling his shit apart. Man, he pulled out that gun. He's like, pew!
Vaporized them.
Vaporized them. He was like... He was like, no, these little people. Just dropping them one by one. Pew, 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 pew. And they were like, time to go. He just started running into the shit.
And Kuil, right, the guy that he met, told him, like, the Jawas, they don't destroy, they kind of just take, right? And if you want it back, you have to trade with them. And he's like, why would I trade? It's mine. They took it. He's like, well, sorry.
Yeah,
so the Jawas basically want this egg, right? And they just say egg, but we don't know what. He starts fighting this creature in a cave that comes out, and it has an egg. So he's getting beat, right? This creature's destroying him.
It looks like a giant, like, woolly rhinoceros.
Yep.
Like, it has this huge horn. It's just, like, running and, like, beating the shit out of the Mandalorian.
Yeah. And at one point, you think, like, man, he's gonna get whipped, you know? This thing is wrecking him. And then all of a sudden, the creature starts floating. And you see little Baby Yoda with his arm out.
His little 3 little fingers.
Lifting him.
He's like, he got his little ass closed. He's like, shit.
And then he just knocks out. I'm just like, oh.
Because it was, he's like, ah.
So he is.
Nah, bro, it's like,
yes, he does have
a little baby fight.
Force sensitivity confirmed. We knew it, but
well,
you know, it's nice to see it.
Yeah.
And guys, it's amazing.
Have 1,000 of these little plushies around the apartment now.
Oh, you bet. One for every room. So cute.
One doing different poses.
Right, one doing different little poses.
When he's asleep.
When he's sleeping in the little bassinet, the little floating bassinet he has.
And then he opens his little mouth.
He or she. Oh, he ate the frog.
He ate the frog. Oh my god.
He's like, hey, get that out of your mouth. And you see him looking, he has a whole frog in his mouth.
Yeah, he's like
and he was like, he just swallowed it, and then he just walks away with his little feet and just scurries away.
He's so cute.
Because he's all head. He's just a big head with little hands and feet. And he got the little cloak that Yoda wears. The same thing, has a little cloak with a little hoodie. He's just like walking around. It's too much, man.
That's hilarious.
It's too much. But yeah, man, you know, the show itself, because we were hanging out the other day, and one of my friends, he mentioned this, and like, since he said it, I thought about it. But he was like, watching The Mandalorian is like watching Samurai Jack.
Yes.
Ooh.
Like, it puts you in that same mind frame, because there's not a lot of dialogue, and it's just this lone warrior on a path, and he's just going through the elements. And even some shots, it's just him, and all you hear is just the environment around him. There's not always music that's playing, and you just hear him fighting and battling, and it's definitely reminiscent of Samurai Jack.
Because
that lone wolf mentality, like, I'm out here trying to survive.
Because it is written by, like, Jeff Favreau, who did the first Iron Man.
Okay.
Happy Hogan.
Happy. Mm-hmm.
That guy, he read that. He written the show with the one who created the Clone Wars. The Clone Wars. The 3D one. So in this one, the one who written the Clone Wars directed the first 2 episodes, I believe.
Okay.
So it feels like an animated feature.
Yeah, it does. It does.
It just has that kind of element to it.
Right.
So that's why he might say it feels like Samurai Jack. Because like, I think he did work on Samurai Jack.
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah.
So,
wouldn't doubt it. But yeah, man, it is really good. Like, this is.
It's a Western.
It is a Western.
This man came in with his own music. Woo!
And I think you can definitely watch even if you're not super immersed into Star Wars.
Yeah.
I think it's very easy to follow.
Yeah, there's no.
That's the good part about it.
Yeah.
Because I kind of, that's why I was like, kind of, when I saw the first episode and I saw Baby Yoda, it's like, oh boy.
Yes.
I hope he's cute and all, but like I just hope that he's not like, he's a part of like the old series.
Mm-hmm.
I just want this show to be its own thing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So but after the second one, it's like, okay, it looks like it's gonna be its own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had their own story to develop.
But we don't know yet. So
right. Yeah, we have to wait and see.
It's like
It's
the
always some
underworld
episodes,
of the main Star Wars.
And there's no like set length in episode time either. Like the first episode was like 40-something minutes. This one
30
was like just close to 30, if not shy of it. And
And
it works because it's like we don't need the fluff. Just give us
Yeah.
what we need to see and what we need to know, and that's it.
you know
Keep
how
all the extra BS.
like season something of Daredevil where you see Karen Page just throwing chairs and
Oh
shit.
yeah, that's fluff.
wasting time. Like,
Yeah,
but
that's fluff.
we should have it like that. Like,
Yeah.
It's like variance length. Not every episode has to have this grand story.
Mhm.
It's just it's just something that tells
It
the
all
larger
builds,
story.
yeah,
It all
to
builds
the
the
bigger
larger
picture.
story.
Here's a little drop.
Mm.
Yeah, man, it's great. No, it is really great. Definitely recommend it. You guys should watch it. Yes.
I just have one question. Just
Uh-huh.
because Baby Yoda. Well, not
Basically.
yeah,
Yes.
but
Basically,
just
Baby
like
Yoda.
his not design, but like the CGI
Mhm.
for him. How does it like blend
It's
with the entire?
excellent. And you know what? I was
I think
actually
it's a
going to
mix.
mention that because I think
It's
it's
a
a
mix.
mix. It's not all CG. Because
Oh,
it
okay.
doesn't look like Yoda from prequels.
No.
Right, yeah, no.
It looks like practical mixed with
Some
CG
Oh, really?
elements.
Yeah, because he
Yeah,
looks
he's
like
a
a puppet.
practical.
It looks like
He looks like
there's
a
a
puppet.
puppeteer in there moving him with some of the shots. But then, like, when he's up and walking and doing stuff, then, yeah, that's when it's CG. But when he's in the bassinet, he's just looking and turning his head and raising
It's
his
just a
hand
puppet.
up. That looks like that's the puppet. And which they do, even in the first episode, if you notice the little, I forgot what the aliens are called. The ones that are on Jabba the Hutt. Remember Jabba the Hutt had the little pet,
Yes.
the little alien thing that was on him that he
yes.
ate.
Oh, I forgot its
He
name.
bit it.
Yes.
But in the episode 1, there's a couple of them in the
In a
cages,
cage.
and they look just like the Jim Henson puppets. Like they're just in there, like looking and trying to get
There's
out
one
the
in the
cage.
cage while he's looking at one of his brothers that's being cooked alive.
On a spit roast, they're roasting him.
Yeah, that was
He's
so
like,
sad.
Yeah, man, it's very
Terrible.
dark,
Holy
very
shit.
dark and so much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So good.
but it is good, man. It's so far, yeah, it's on the right path. It is definitely on the right path.
That's promising.
It is promising. Yep. Even when they showed him go to his little home base and he was getting his armor, he went to go see the blacksmith, and she was in there, you know, hitting the armor and the weapons, and he gave her some material so she can help build more armor for him, which I'm thinking probably by the end of the season he'll have a whole new set.
Oh,
right now he just
will
has that
be.
one shoulder piece that he gave her because he found some of the material that he needed.
And his armor just got wrecked in episode 2.
Yeah, and his armor just got destroyed by that monster he was fighting. So yeah, it'll be nice to see him change and progress.
And that robot voiced by Taika Waititi.
The one that was shooting everybody, really?
Yeah.
That was cool. I liked him. He was ready to self-destruct at like any given moment. He's like initiating self-destruct. He's like, "Whoa, what are you doing? Wait." He's like, "I can't be caught by any means." And he's starting the timer. He's like, "Well, let's think about this. We can work through this. We're not dead yet." He's like, "All right." He'll close it. And then the moment they get stuck again, he's like, "Initiating self-destruct. Can you stop trying to blow us up?" He's like, "We're gonna figure this out. Relax."
I like it. Everything is hard. Poor Mandarin.
Yeah, everything is hard. It should be as it should be. He's a bounty hunter.
Right.
It's showing you the rough side of living out there on those desolate planets like that. Yeah, nah, it's cool, man. You guys should definitely watch it.
Will do.
Definitely. And with that being said, the last on her list, Pixar finally decided to showcase souls having souls and inanimate objects having feelings, and from fishes to you name it. Now finally we get to see black people with feelings.
I'll be damned.
Who would have knew?
Who would
have knew? Pixar loves souls.
Pixar loves souls.
Everything is a living being.
I noticed.
Cars,
Holy
toys.
Shit. You name it.
Yep.
Black people.
Black people.
Feelings themselves.
Feelings themselves. Our lives. Yep. And it stars Jamie Foxx. He's the main guy from what we saw in the trailer. Did he have a name? Did they say his name in the trailer? Or?
Let me just say, he looks like Black Seth.
He does. He does. Yes, the rig.
That's why he looks so what if they just took that and were like, can somebody design a black person but not make it look like racist? And like, you know what? If you go on that rigging site, you can get free black people. Come on, y'all. And so they went on there and downloaded.
They went to Turbo Squid.
Yeah. So for the listeners, in our animation class, we had this rig, and we called it Black Seth because it was a black guy. He was skinny.
His name was Seth.
His name was Seth.
There's two of them.
Yeah, there's two of them.
Seth was like a white guy, and then Black Seth was the black equivalent of Seth.
Right.
All down from a website, so used for that class.
Yeah, used for animation and rigging. So it was just our ongoing gag that we had where we would put him in each one of our animations for finals as like a little Easter egg joke. Yeah. And so the main character in Soul, now that he mentioned it, looks just like that rig. Yep. Oh man, too funny. Like the shape and everything. Yeah. He looks just like a man.
I couldn't shake it, man. I was like...
And that's why he looked... Because when I was looking at it, I was like, I don't know why. I felt like I seen this somewhere. Mm-hmm. And when you said Black Seth, that was it.
With high quality skin texture.
Yeah. Right. Yes. He got a little facial hair there and his little hat. And so, I mean, with everything, it's going to be about music and life and death and...
Moving on,
going towards the light, I guess. And,
like Coco.
Yeah, just like Coco.
Oh, if it's just like Coco, I'll be crying.
Everybody crying.
Everybody's crying.
They better not have no grandmas in this movie.
Oh,
no more grandmas, please.
No more
abuelas.
No, that will break my
heart. I don't want to remember that.
I know, right? Goodness gracious.
Comes out with a guitar.
Stop.
Oh, Coco.
Yeah, but I mean, it looks good, right?
It looks good.
It's Pixar.
I mean,
Disney.
it didn't really show much either.
No, it didn't. It's
like a teaser.
All I saw was he plays jazz.
Oh, the music was great.
Yeah, the jazz music, that sounds amazing. So we know the score is going to be awesome. Yeah, and he falls down a manhole. He dies, right? They just show his soul after that.
Is it? He died?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. He dies, and he meets another soul, and
that's the
relief. Yeah, maybe it's him trying to accept it, or maybe they're leading each other to life. I don't know. Who knows? We'll see.
It's probably his body was in there. His probably him trying to find his body. It's
like Ghost Dad.
Yes, I was gonna say Ghost Dad. I can't say Ghost Dad.
Bill Cosby's in that.
It's just like Ghost Dad.
Ghost Dad trying to get back to his body.
Oh man!
And the longer he stays out of his body, the light keeps pulling him, trying to take him away. Goodness.
Oh man.
Oh boy.
I think the movie's about purgatory. Since he's
He's just stuck. That's it. He can't go nowhere.
oh man.
Jacob, did you want to throw in your?
I have some thoughts. When it first came out, I definitely enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Animation, of course, Pixar, but the story sense, it still needs more revelation. We need to know more.
Right.
But here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I went on Twitter.
Okay.
Tons of people had really mixed opinions about it. You had some that said, "Wow, this looks spectacular. Finally, black people."
Right.
But the other side, it was like, "Oh, okay. Well, looks like we're gonna have another movie from Pixar centered around about black people. They're not gonna last long in this movie. They're gonna be turned into something else, just like the Princess and the Frog movie."
Okay.
Yeah, like we don't have them stay on screen for a really long time. In the first,
I got you.
Oh yeah.
I see.
Basically,
Like it has black people, but it wasn't them the whole movie.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to say. But like, people were mixed between that. They were like, "Yo, first 30-something seconds where we are already in love with the main character."
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're already in love with the main character. Like he's us in a way. Like we black people, we like, hey, black power, son. But like,
Alright, King.
Alright, King.
Hey, if you don't have a soul, then you can't realize what we watching.
Right.
All right, calm down, old head. You got it, old head. You got it.
No. But
You're watching the Wu-Tang.
Right.
But like I sort of felt the same way a little bit when I started knowing about their thoughts, because black people, like in terms of like films or animated films, with Disney they took it a different route. We were excited to see a black princess, and she changed into a frog, and we're like, we don't see her until the end of the movie as her regular self.
Right.
So they're kind of like, they did it again. I mean, I'm Pixar, no doubt, it's fire studio, but come on, we're kind of tired of this. We just want something. We just want a black person who we were really interested in from the jump with the trailer, just last throughout the whole movie without changing into something else.
It's like a scary movie, man. They don't even last that long.
First 30 seconds, frog.
Right?
At least in the background story, they put a toe. Goddamn.
Like he died in the first few seconds.
Yeah, he walked out. Hey, y'all have a good day. Dog walked out. Oh shit, that dog. And then,
Bloop.
Right, bloop did.
Son, that was Final Destination.
Right, that was all the events that took place that caused him to meet his demise.
Now he's blue.
Now he's blue. Because of the jazz, he's singing the blues.
Oh,
man.
Somebody stop this!
Hey, they made it, not me. I'm pointing at the audience.
Black people got a lot of soul.
Hey.
Soul food.
Hey. Soul glow.
Can I say when they showed the title that says "so," it looks like the quilts. I was like, oh. Spiritual quilts.
I want to see a lot of Soul Train.
Oh, goodness. Or maybe it'll follow him, and then maybe it'll do a lot of back and forth shots of everybody in the now still living.
Yeah.
And he's trying to get back to them, and he's not accepting death.
That's
Who
true.
knows?
That's what I'm thinking
true.
of.
That is
feels like-
Maybe there's a little kid somewhere in the movie,
Like Inside Out.
like
this cuts
Inside
in
Out,
between
like
both
back and
sides.
forth.
Yeah.
Like you see what's going on internally, and then on the outside you saw the girl. So maybe same concept in there. I don't know. Well, I mean, we don't know if he has a family or anything yet.
Yeah.
Just based off the trailer, we just saw he plays jazz and then he died. That's all we got.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Well, I mean, it's one of the. We just have to wait and see what they give us. Not to hold out.
I don't know if I want to get into this real quick, but I was thinking with the whole soul thing, maybe they could try, like, he probably try to possess somebody or reincarnate as somebody.
Oh, hold on. This is Pixar.
Hey, I know, but
no, I think like what, like go into like another like a pet or something.
Something like that, just to express why I like. Hey, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do.
We're dangerously close to Ghost Dad. That's
right.
Right. Every time we keep talking about theories, we're talking about Ghost Dad. Because Ghost Dad did all of that. Yeah. He was trying to look for his body. He interacted with his family. He possesses people. That's all Ghost Dad.
Okay, I didn't watch that.
For good reason.
For good reason.
Oh goodness! All right, so that's your theory. Anybody else want to add to this Soul trailer? Clear nothing.
I mean, I'm curious to see like what it's about because I like the fact that they didn't show a lot because that means it's like, oh, it's kind of like hyping it up a little bit. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, I'm curious to see what's about. We'll keep watching the trailers and maybe we'll reveal the story a little bit more. And who knows? I mean,
yeah. I think, well, they did the same thing with Coco. Because when Coco was first, like the trailer and the teaser and everything was first, like it came out, we didn't really know what it was going to be about.
Yeah. We just thought it's a book of life.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
So,
but they didn't really, like, say anything about the story. This might be the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be the same.
We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. Mm-hmm. Well, just like Soul, this podcast is done. The end. Dead.
Man, that is depressing.
That is depressing.
Wow.
What do you want to say, Jacob?
31 episodes.
31 episodes, and we ended on Soul.
Yeah. I mean, episode 31.
Stop right there.
No. Hold on. It's from a meme. Hold on. We got
that'd have been the great send off right there.
Stop.
You can still do it. You can edit all this out.
Yes, we can.
Okay, go ahead. Tell your joke.
With all the Disney Plus stuff going on, you got Netflix and chill. It's time for Disney Plus and Thrust.
And thank you for listening to another 6 Frame Podcast. If you like what you hear and you want to hear more, email us at 6framepodcast@gmail.com. That is 6framepodcast@gmail.com. You can also catch us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. 6 Frames. Don't forget to rate and follow us on our Apple Podcasts and Podbean. And our YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to 6 Frames and ring that bell for notifications so you never miss another episode. So what are you waiting for, nerd? Subscribe, like, rate, do all that stuff. And I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.